Alright, so it's time for the second part of my personal Great Hollow tutorial. I want to preface this by saying that if you haven't watched the previous video, I'd recommend doing that. At least, like, if you don't want to watch the whole run, do watch the first 4 minutes and 40 seconds or so of that, because it details all of how I play the map. I'm just currently exploring more scenarios with the map in that game. Which was this. I started with a top right spawn, I had an ugly day 1 circle, and then I had a lot of errands to run, so I didn't really get to showcase all that I wanted to show off. So that's what I'm trying to do today. At this point, I'm just going to queue solo depth 5 until I get the map. So I'd recommend just skipping ahead to when the run starts. I'll leave a timestamp in the description for when that is. Because this is going to take a while. It took me 15 resets to find the map the first time I did this, and then I reset another 15 times and then cut it because I figured it was going to be too long. But again, just do skip ahead a couple minutes or however long it takes. It would suck if I resettle this time in the final boss that I get on the Great Hollow map I eventually do get is something like Adel. It's so pathetically easy that it hardly even justifies the 40 minutes it takes. It takes the 40 minutes I'd spend taking to get there. Like the last run I did, I killed the boss and almost killed the boss in 4 attacks. Kind of sad, to be honest. Surely, I will get something that does not die in 4 attacks this time around. Speaking of something that does in 4 attacks, this is the boss that I just killed in 4 attacks. It'd be funny if I got the same exact map again. At that point, I don't think I would play the same exact map again, because that's just not really constructive to making a guide. I'm actually going to crash out and get the same exact map again. there is absolutely no reason for Great Hollow to be this uncommon for how big of amazing of a map it is. Man, come on, man. Alright, finally. Okay, so looks like we have the bottom center spawn. I will make sure to show my relics, so Dregs of Libre build, that I'm known for. So, alright. We got Rot Ruins, got Magic in the, or Rot Castle, Rot and Magic Castles. What I'm gonna do to start here is just get level 2. Nice golf swing right there. I could actually get level 3 here, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. Like in solo, there's enough enemies here and down by the Grace that I think you can actually get level 3 off of, but I'm not gonna do that. You don't really need to do that. Kind of subtracts from the amount of time you'd be spending getting crystals, which is the main focus of what I'm gonna be doing in this video. As I did explain in the other tutorial I made, like the first 5 minutes of that are very crucial to understanding the proper strategy of how to play this map. So, get crystals, go to the bottom right castle, and everything will be all well. All will be amazing. I think this is the same crystal seed. Not the same one. One that I happen to know off the top of my head. So there will be a crystal right up here. One of 4 crystal seeds. Gonna totally skip everything in this ruins. I don't need the Night Invader. I don't really want to fight the Cemetery Shade. Be careful that this guy is here. This guy will totally mess you up. Drop down onto this Spirit Spring. I could actually also kill the Mistbegotten, but I'm not going to. Just go straight to the castle, get as much loot as possible, as quickly as possible. And already in like just maybe 2 whole minutes of running around the map and getting level 2, I have all 3 crystals already. And so obviously you need to get 4 in trios, which in this exact crystal seed is a bit harder. But for the most part, you should be fine because your teammates will get 1 when you go and do this. Like in trios, what you always do, because you can't rely on your teammates to do this. This is the objectively correct thing to do. Make sure I not get owned by this guy. Is you go and get crystals, because someone's got to do the crystal mechanic to do the castles, and the castles are where you get all the loot. Make sure I not get killed. Actually, I can get hit here once. That would be great. Just for Knight of Dregs, perfect. Or just once, I was asking, but okay, whatever. Just keep Knight of Dregs going, so as to actually. Nice aim. Okay. So, go to the castle. Always go to the castles. Always enter at this point. This is a pretty important point. Again, a lot of this, this is all stuff I have mentioned before. I mentioned it in the last video I made. Looks like it is Omens down here. You just go this way because it's faster. Like, if you draw a line from all the points of interest in the castle to one another. Probably didn't need a flask there, but whatever. This is just the fastest way to go. So that's what I'm doing. That's why this is the best way to go. The talisman chest is not very valuable as far as actually... Oh boy. This happens sometimes. You hold in the perfect spot and you get stuck on the ceiling. Nice massive time waste on an otherwise amazing run. Be careful that I don't... That does not normally happen. That's a Raider moment right there. Try and stance break this guy as fast as possible. This should stance break him, I think. No, really. There we go. Okay, looks like I have a good circle placement. I'm gonna go stand over here for a moment and regenerate my stamina and my skill so I can easily dispose of this guy. Skill, I should be able to take him out with actually landing a light attack. Alright. Gets 48,000 souls, gives me a fantastic weapon, at least a fantastic starter weapon. And I should be able to clear quite a lot of this castle now. It is a rot castle, so there's also going to be a bonus hippo in the lake over here. I'm gonna try and keep Knight of Dregs active. I can see. All right, it went to 10 at that moment. Perfect timing. Just keep the gesture up. I will be able to use the red weapon I have as I get to this Grace, coming out on the other side after killing the one Omen, and then the hippo, and then the next Omen, and then getting the talisman chest, coming out, and there will be a bunch of clean rot knights. I'll kill as many of them as possible in solo, as opposed to trios. It is significantly harder to actually clear the entire castle in day 1, although that is something I have done quite a lot. This is how Omens are supposed to go. Not like this. Gotta be really careful here. I should be fine now. I can just attack, and then skill, and then attack again, and I'll get him down. And I'll get another 48k souls. Interesting. That's a pretty good weapon, but I already have a colossal weapon, and HP up's such a valuable passive. Something I'll always do is check these chests for passives. Damage negation on charge, skill attack power. I don't need improved sorceries, nor chain attack finishers. What I'm actually going to do here is go a little out of the way I had intended and actually run and grab the Grace so as to be able to use a much stronger weapon on the degree of like 50% stronger to kill things faster. Keep Knight of Dregs active if I can. Hopefully, that would be really nice if I could. Looks like I did. Very nice. I'll go up, I'll kill the hippo. I'll kill the other Omen. Hopefully, I think I'll have time for about 2 Clean Rot Knights. If I didn't suck at making maneuvers here. About 2 Clean Rot Knights on top of all the basement enemies, which is, as you can see, already level 7. Got very solid loot. Actually, I'm gonna hold on to this so I can use jump attacks for now. I cleared out half of the basement. Got amazing loot. And I'm level 7 before the day 1 circle even closes. Like half circle. Getting fucked over by my own ult here. Nice raider moment. This guy's pretty easy though. Not really a problem by any means. This is why I leveled up, so I'd be able to use this much stronger weapon. Flask up is fine. Put this in my offhand in case there's something I wanted to use jump attacks for. Like, in that case, using power stance jump attacks would have just been better than whatever the hell I was trying to get to work. None of those are useful. Another red Omen, very nice. A key point about these castles is that on each of them, either 2 or 3 enemies will spawn and not already be red. Like, when you get to Indeep Night, as far as I'm concerned, it's guaranteed that a certain number of enemies will spawn as red enemies. I'm gonna hide in this corridor. Wait for the Omen to not also be using something that will fuck me up. There we go. Easy peasy. Now killed 4 enemies. I'm gonna be almost level 10 at this point. Another max HP, very nice. I am quite strong so far. I don't have any damage negation perks, but I do have 2 HP ups. Now, the Clear Cut Knights are a bit harder than the Omens. They're substantially easier than the bird dudes that spawn in the event of this being a holy castle. Got 1770 HP at level. Wow. HP. I have 4 health ups, huh? Interesting. The Cleaner Knights are substantially easier than the bird guys, but I think what I'm going to do here is use jump attacks to beat them up, because they're a bit safer. Actually, maybe not, because I have a damage negation on charge. Scratch that. These guys, at least in solo, as far as I know, can get stance broken pretty easily, especially when they try to block your attacks. Like, this should stance broken right here. I'm not taking that much damage right now. Face tank, charge attack through everything. This should probably stance break him again, if it doesn't kill me first. There we go. What we got? Golden Order Greatsword. This thing is total ass. I'm not even going to bother taking this. I guess I could have taken it for jump attacks, but honestly, whatever. That thing is so useless. I'm going to try and charge attack into my ult here. Then heal. Land a jump attack. I think a jump attack will stance break this guy. Or not. I guess it's because he's red and... There we go. I might get killed here. Not playing my best. Do need to back off and heal. Again, in trios, this part is a lot easier. Like, I'd be able to clear the whole castle if I had 2 more people helping me to do this. Very nice. Check these. Proof fire attack power is not useful against Gladius. At least, yeah, Gladius, that's what I thought. It's an interesting item, but I'm just going to take the stamina. I don't really need another weapon that is identical to the one I'm currently using. Let's see, we have... This is a power stancing up item. This is a really good weapon. There's a lot of interesting stuff here. I'm not going to buy anything yet because I'm going to be going to the other castle. And there's a shop there, so I can use that store. Doesn't look like there's a super shop on this map, unfortunately. What I am going to do, though, is kill this Cleaner on Night. He is not red, so he's not going to do enough damage to where he's going to be a problem. And I can just spam charge attacks. You can do this even at depth 5. It's kind of... I don't know why this is such a commonly cited weakness of Raider when this is absolutely not... When it's absolutely not true. Yep, there you go. Stance break, guard break, stance break. Absolutely beating the hell out of everything. Looks like I did actually get a bonus boss. Not that I had time to beat it up. Little unfortunate timing, but that's okay. Oh boy. How am I supposed to kill this? Are you gonna drop my talismans? Oh god. Or not. Whatever. I think I'm just gonna head straight to the circle. There is a boss here that's a low rarity, always a white boss, but I don't think I'd have a reasonable amount of time to kill it. I could also start working on this Draconic Tree Sentinel, who is a very high value enemy that I think he always drops 2 red weapons, or at least one slot is on this guy's guaranteed to be a red weapon. Another is 25% a legendary, 75% red, and then I think he also has like a 15% chance to drop a Wedding Grace, or maybe even higher. But I don't think I'm going to touch him this run, strictly because it's just better to go to the castles. Like, there's so many enemies in the castles. A really wise thing to do that I actually am realizing now is a pretty big mistake is that I should have bought that Star Fist, because it's a bleed weapon, and it has an attack up on it, so that's actually a very solid weapon that I could use. Currently looking for these jellyfish that drop loot. Like, look at this. Oh, that is not a good item, unfortunately. None of this is at all useful, but that's fine. These bodies can drop legendaries, so it's always worth checking. I'm not going to bother carrying this. Elemer or the other one. It looks like it's demi-humans. I don't really have any damage ups right now, unlike the last run I did, so all the damage I'm going to be doing until I find a good damaged weapon is going to be not great, to say the least. Although I do have like a lot of HP and a damage negation perk, so at least I can totally face tank everything, assuming I actually land charge attack and get that damage negation active. Don't have an infinite here. I can do this. Where is this little bastard? Come here, little guy. How did you go to phase 2? not intending for the big one to go to phase 2. I guess I just did too much damage to her. Generally speaking, though, it's always a good idea to take out the little guy first. In this fight. Because you can do that before the big one goes to phase 2, which I have miraculously failed at here. But the big one will go down, it'll be stance break into death in one light attack. I can actually land one light attack, or I guess I get her with my skill. So now what we do is we go to the other castle. None of this is all that good. I want to do the other. I want to go to the other castle. However, I'm going to pay attention to a very important point of the map, and that is right here. That is right at this location. What I should really be doing is actually just going straight to the central jump point. Simply because going to this merchant, the legendary merchant that spawns here about 50% of the time, is such an incredibly valuable use of time. Looks like there is no legendary merchant on the map, so I got lucky by not wasting time. I'm gonna start getting to work on these Banished Knights, or Bloodhound Knights. What am I saying? I think I should stance break in 2 charge attacks that land. He's a little dangerous at this point. We'll stance break here, and then I can. I would say I was gonna say heal, but I don't have any flasks. I'm gonna take the crit. Make sure I not get owned by that pulse-rated free spirit back there, and get land another charge attack, and he will die. And I will get all my flasks back when I go to this church. What do we have? More guts? You know what? I'm gonna take this because I have a skill attack power up already. So Morgoth's is actually a pretty decent weapon when it comes to killing stuff. In this exact castle, like it's a Godskin's castle, they are all extremely weak to bleed. God fucking damn it! They're all super weak to bleed, which this weapon does. This skill also does quite a lot of damage. So I'm gonna hold on to the Morgoths. That was an absolutely tremendous time loss, but that's fine. I was gonna come this way anyway and get to church. I do need to set up Knight of Dregs again, but I'm just going to start working on the next Bloodhound Knight. Unfortunately, I never leveled to 10 because I was thinking I was going to... I'm going to check these passives we have. That's good. I was thinking I was going to go towards the Super Merchant, Legendary Merchant. Come over here and attack me, that would be good. Rather than fight you down here, so you have an extra... I get an extra falling animation onto my name, but apparently that's not going to happen, huh? Shit. This is a little tough. I don't want to lose my runes, but I do want to kill this guy. So I could fucking follow me come down here. What are you waiting up for? You usually are so eager to come down here. Tough guy. Alright, motherfucker. Land a charge attack, get my damage engagement up. Hopefully stance breaking on the next one I do. If he doesn't kill me first. Alright, there we go. Very careful to not die. Again, I do have 200,000 souls on the ground. There you are. Whatever. Whatever. This should kill him, no matter what he does here. There you go. Alright, now back on track. Another skill attack up. Okay, maybe I'll get a good skill and do a skill attack run. I have 2 of these so far. I think the fastest way to actually get where I want to go is to go up... go up to that catwalk up high, but I'm not going to be doing that. Kill this guy who has lots of money. I'm trying to loot a passive from him, which he didn't have anything anyway. Of course he didn't. I need to go back to the basement and... First I need to take some damage, thank you. I need to go back to the basement and clear the enemies down there first. That's... Are you fucking dead ass? Don't lose it. Okay. Jesus Christ. Going to the basement first is faster for the purposes of killing all the enemies in the castle. In the event that the circle actually stays up here. Which it might not. The circle's probably going to cut. The first circle's probably going to show up in within 20 seconds from now, judging by my own mental clock. I'll always kill these red enemies with red weapons. Successive attacks negate damage when I don't have many damage negation perks is just an outright positive. I know I talk shit about that perk a lot, but it is very useful in many cases. Unlike both of those. I had a feeling this guy was going to be red. I'm going to charge attack into a bolt. I'll knock the Bloodhound Knight off his feet and the rats, and I think I can land a stun on this guy for jump attacking. Looks like we actually do have a good circle this time, so I'm going to clear the entire part of this entire half of the castle. Magic attack power is not useful. Do check this and this for some weapon passive rolls. What's this got? Nothing useful. That's a pretty good Guardian weapon. I'm not playing Guardian though. Dragon Wound Grease, I don't really know. Shield Crash, I do really want that, actually. Yeah, that's a skill. That's not a fire skill, unlike Morgoth's. A little torn on what to take here. I have to drop the sand. Shield Crash might actually just be worth upgrading all the way to purple. Of course, provided I can find a purple stone. Who do we have? Elimer? A little... I do have a parry shield. This is not a great parry, but I do have a parry shield, so I can't actually parry him. That was a very unadvisable charge attack, but it did stance break him, so clearly it worked out fine. Oops, I forgot that I already one parry there. Get my damage negation up. So far, pretty nicely done by me. I haven't done this in a while. Should stance break him, I think. No. Is he gonna stance break him? No, really? How much stance does this guy have? The fuck? It's like 80 stance now. I do need to hit the Grace here. I'm just going to level up all the way to 15 at this point. I mean, I do want to keep Magic Dregs going, but I also level up, so I'm going to do that before anything else. Level to 15 with this absolutely enormous health bar. What I have to do here to keep United Dregs going is actually just leave the Madness on my bar and go get hit by one of the enemies in the castle, because I simply have too much health to where I can actually proc Madness and then be below the health threshold for Knight of Dregs. So I'm going to use Morgoth here if I can actually pay attention and properly equip it. Yep, there's the damage I needed to take. One down. I thought my skill was on time there. Apparently not. Really? Okay, whatever. At this point, I'm actually gonna go leave the Godskin in a moment. I'll be back there very shortly. I'm gonna run a quick errand first in the form of going and grabbing the talisman that's up here. Normally I would go this way. I wanted to make sure I set up Knight of Dregs first though, so I decided to at least start working on the duo. You get it this way, you get the talisman. None of this is all that good. It is a troll, thankfully. This guy dies really easily. Everything. I should really use Morgoth's here because it's a bleed weapon. Stance broke with my ult, huh? Bleed clock, thank you. Let's try to bleed this guy again. Maybe one more? There we go. Alright. It's a good skill weapon that's better than Morgoth's Cursed Sword would be great. Because the thing is, this thing is useless against Gladius. Although I guess I do have Shield Crash. I don't know really know what I'm saying at this point. So I'll kill the Apostle next. This Apostle. Make sure I not die though. Why he's not face transitioning yet? There we are. He is dead. Now I'm gonna go this way. Kill the Godskin Noble Pawns up there. 2 copies of two-handing up. Interesting. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of Morgoth. I'm not gonna be needing this thing. It's just not very useful against Gladius because it's fire damage and Gladius has 50% fire resistance. A little careful. I don't have the most damage against him. I do quite a lot of HP to make up for it. Clean these guys out so they don't kill me after I kill this guy and loot his corpse. Because I do want to check that chest for some weapon passives that I desperately need. Like, if I'm not going to be playing skills, like, Shield Crash, I don't think it's really worth justifying over the, otherwise, ooh, give me that. Big damage. I think I'm just going to get rid of all the skill ups in my inventory and play that, Siluria's Tree with Holy on charge attacks, because it happens to be a really good weapon against, Gladius. You know what? No, actually, hold on. That also happens to be a really good skill against Gladius. Now I'm getting some ideas. That is actually like an amazing skill against Gladius. I'm gonna take this thing and make it my main weapon. I think it would be more wise to use charge attacks, though. Let's see. I can get rid of this HP. Yeah, I'm just gonna use the charge attacks. They're so much more reliable. Make sure to... I have bought the Twiggy Crack tier already. Time is running out, but I have enough time to do whatever I want. I can even afford to kill this guy. Like, go for more loot. This thing's not even that much better than Raider weapons, to be honest. Could get a Raider weapon with much better stuff on it than this. Not that is not a Raider weapon with better stuff. Not stand for everything. Honestly, I think it's probably hardly better than Raider weapons. I'm not playing affinity damage, I'm playing physical, and I'm Raider, and Raider thinks that's good now. That is not useful. It was... Look at this. Honestly, I'm just gonna go switch back to the Raider weapons. I prefer them. I could actually switch between using, skills and, like, charge attacks here, because I have the option for both. Stance break him? Oh, it's not. I'm surprised you can stance through that. I don't even have enough time to kill the Ulcerated Tree Spirit here. That always knocks you out of whatever you think is a headshot. Careful. Very careful. I have next side damage. I need to drop this shit. Get back in the circle in time. Okay, I guess I'm playing Siluria's Tree. Barely made it out of that alive. Minus 12% HP, I guess. Oh, there's also a crystal here, huh? Interesting. You know what? Yeah. I mean, in the event that I use Siluria's Tree as a skill, which I kind of have sacrificed the opportunities for a little already, unfortunately, by throwing away that skill attack up, this does increase its damage by quite a lot. So that's pretty nice. I'm gonna ult here to try and roll for some weapon drops of these guys. They're very unlikely to drop weapons, but in the event that they do, that would be sick, because I am just down a weapon slot. I'm not gonna be needing all this Exalted Flesh, because I'm gonna have one slot with a Wending Grace, and one for Starlight Shards, presumably. Like it is the Tree Sentinels. I am personally used to effects like Holy on charge attacks that land being absolutely amazing, but a while ago they were only so amazing because my relics were tuned to affinity damage, which is something I actually really want to try again. Because there's so many interesting affinity weapons like this one that is guaranteed in a shop. Like, you fucking stop running away, dickhead. Bitch. What's your problem? There's just so many cool affinity weapons like this one. Oh yeah, this does quite a lot on this skill. I might just use skill here. Yeah, it's doing as much as 2 charge attacks, which is surprising. That... Oh shit, that was not supposed to hit me. That was a bad use of a charge attack. How is he not stance broken? Yeah, that's crazy. I'm like 2 charges, 2 or 3 charge attacks on him. He's dead though. Now it's just these guys. I might lose one, maybe even 2 of my revives here if I'm not careful. I also do need to make quick work of them because Nightreign is slowly building up. It's the Garoppolo max HP, which like will almost insta kill me if I don't have any health. Alright, very nice. Character skill cooldown reduction. Affinity attack up is actually really good, but character skill cooldown reduction is like the best raider perk you can get out of this, just because the character skill lets you tank better. Of course, I have to set up Nightreign again, unfortunately. It's just that valuable. In solo, again, I'm going to be setting up Nightreign. This takes like 3 minutes, but it's just something you do because it'll make the boss die much quicker. So I got 1 slot for the Wendy. I'm gonna buy this thing. I'm gonna buy some Starlight Shards. I'm gonna buy some Boiled Crabs instead of these physical attack ups because I don't really need these. Like 1 hit is really just nothing as far as Raider's concerned. Okay, so while I wait for Nightreign, same thing as in the last video. Retrospectively, this map, I was able to clear nearly the entire top left castle. I would have actually cleared the whole thing if 1, I didn't die, and 2, I didn't choke against that Godskin Noble, because all that was left was that Godskin Noble and the Bloodhound Knight I ran past when trying to get back in the circle. So I almost cleared the entire top left castle all on my own, and also made a good chunk out of this castle. This is generally how a lot of runs go in 3-player games. That I am very much so used to, except in that case we would have had enough time to clear this whole castle, even this boss at the top, and on top of that, this whole castle, this boss, and maybe even some time for these 2 red bosses down here. And already, even just being a solo player and only doing 1/3 of the damage, I know I do get like 50% more runes in solo, but I've accumulated around 800,000 runes throughout the duration of this run. Remember, buying this Solarius tree was like 45k. And also everything else I bought. It's really like probably 840k. Also, like, that's on top of having died as much as I did. In any case, Nightreign is almost all the way up. I'm just gonna go now. I don't really feel like waiting anymore. I'm gonna be alternating between charge attacks and the charged skill in this fight. I do hope it's Everdark Gladius, because regular Gladius is like ridiculously fucking easy, and that would mean this entire thing was all to fight a really easy boss. Alright, okay, Everdark Gladius. This fight is actually pretty difficult solo, so I do need to sit up straight. Yeah, okay, what the hell am I doing? I thought they would jump. I'm absolutely not locked in. I also need to not lose Knight of Dregs. Which I already have. Okay, this is already going tits up. At the very least, Gladius is extremely weak to holy damage. I'm not pop his damage engagement right now. Should do quite a bit. Ah, shit. Dodge through that. Okay, good. Phase transition. This part should hopefully be a bit better than the last one. If I were quick there, I would have had time for a charge skill. I got hit. Oh shit! I was not expecting to have got hit by that. Fuck. I'm gonna lose Knight of Dregs again. I am gonna do this here. This attack is, in comparison to a lot of the other attack Gladius does, is kind of easy to dodge. There you go. Like the timing is very easy to learn, I mean. Ha! God fucking damn it, I'm actually gonna lose. Total skill issue on my part. I should be dodging most of these. Okay, I need to actually be extremely careful here because I don't have any more revives. Okay, one charge attack out there, some big damage. Ah, shit. Running there. This is not good. I'm just sliding forward when he did that. Okay, this is the move that killed me last time. Be careful. I am going to use my skill to tank through this. Just because, like, if I miss that dodge, I lose. This is a super bad play, but I'm going to do it. Get some more damage. I just have to do this for damage. Yeah, that was so much damage. Alright, this is the hard part now. I gotta get some mana back. And I lost. Unlucky. That fucking sucks. Ah! I should not have lost her. That was totally me being shit. Although the run did go very well as at least up until the Night Lord, when I totally choked against probably the hardest Night Lord in solo. That's rough. I haven't lost in a while. That's too bad. I totally could have won that. Anyway, that is part 2 of the guide. So that is ending up in a very nice scenario, or not scenario, resulting after day 2, having cleared the actual Great Hollow part of the map with a very solid amount of runes. 850,000 runes, pretty solid equipment in solo. Of course, I choked the fight. Completely choked, for no good reason at all. I mean, this is the hardest boss in solo at depth 5, to be fair. But nonetheless, that is absolutely me being bad. Like, the choke here also cost me some health. It cost me 2 rolls at even better weapons. I also would have done better if I had taken that Envoy's Greathorn early in the game, because that's an amazing skill that does way more damage than Siluria's Woe. But nonetheless, I mean, the results, like, the loot I got here, I killed so many enemies that dropped loot, and that's including the ones that I did not take. And when you do this in trios, clearing both of the castles, generally speaking, you'd be hard pressed to find a run that the entire team does not have a full inventory of loot for. So that's part 2 of the guide. I might make another. I think this about wraps it up for how you're supposed to go about playing the map. Like I mentioned that there is one other route that can happen, like where if this same exact map happens, the day 1 happens exactly as it did in this game, and then the day 2 starts. I go to this castle, and then the circle's on the bottom. The circle's on the bottom right instead. Instead, what you can do is, and I have posted a video. The video is titled "I Love Great Hollow." It's just a regular Great Hollow run in which I ended up going to this ruins afterwards. This is generally what you do, at least in my opinion, because there are a lot of enemies. Especially when you clear the entire castle, which again in trios with the time that we had, or time that I had, 3 people would absolutely be able to clear this entire castle. There was 1, 2, 3 enemies left, and I'm a solo player. I guess 4 if you count the bonus boss at the top. But anyway, that should about wrap it up. Although, side point, just since I haven't mentioned this yet, never go to these places. These are total traps. Hopefully I should not need to explain why. They are very obviously bad conversion rates for the time you have to spend and the loot you get. But that wraps it up. That is part 2 of my Great Hollow guide. I hope you found all the advice I gave here very useful. Just really memorize the crystals, take that responsibility on yourself, and you'll always be able to go to the castles on day 1. That's where all the loot is. So thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.